Could you introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Sure. I am Estela Guerrero Camargo, and I am Salvador Gory Guerrero's sister, one of the youngest ones.
What was it like being in the Guerrero family, seeing your family all become wrestlers? And
Well, when I was growing up, I am still very proud of my brother. He was like my second father. He brought me up and gave me a good education, and that I'm very proud of him because of what he was, a very good wrestler, the best in Mexico.
well, it was very like, what was it like when you were in Mexico, like with your brother? Was it just like he was a huge celebrity, or what?
Well, he was a big celebrity when he moved from Guadalajara to Mexico. And then, of course, everybody would recognize us and admire him, and therefore we were very proud of him. But he was a great celebrity over there. He became a champion, a World War champion, and he held 3 championships at the same time. And it is great just to be his sister.
Did you ever think about getting in the ring and wrestling, or no?
Well, not as myself wrestler, but I did get in the ring several times because when I saw that they were hitting him, I would get in the ring with my purse and hit his opponent, and I never liked them to hit him, so I was always trying to get in there and kick them.
Was there video footage of this, of you beating up a wrestler with a purse, or no? Is that on video? Do you have any video of you beating up anybody with a purse?
We have movies.
Oh, you do?
Yes, movies from him, and we all have a lot of his magazines, a lot of his history all through his career.
Well, I'll have to get that video of you beating up a wrestler with a purse. For the document, that'd be funny, I think.
Well, sure. But they're movies. They're all movies.
Oh, that's cool. That's yeah. I'll talk to Mondo about it.
Yes.
And let me move on to you now. I'll come back to you. I just want to move along,
okay,
if you could, to get everybody. Could you introduce yourself? And
yes,
tell us
I am. I'm Grace Guerrero Alvarez. I am the 4th in line of a family of 8, of 7, and Sal, as we call Gory. When he first began, he didn't begin right away as a celebrity. He began in Arena Nilo in Guadalajara, and he tried to get into shape because he was thin, and he tried very hard, and he was an amateur first. He started as Joe Morgan, and from there he arose because he was very brave. He would do things that other wrestlers would not do. He would dare do wrestling matches with very strong boys at the time. And that's how he was discovered from an agent in Guadalajara, and then was asked to go to Mexico. He was requested to go to Mexico because of how daring he was with the way he wrestled, and they liked the way he did it. At first, he was a very clean-cut wrestler, and they liked him very much. And then he became rude because he found out that that's what the public wanted. They wanted him to be rude, so he became one. He was very loved, though, by everyone. He traveled all over Mexico, and he became very well known there, and then he came to the United States to wrestle here in the States. And when he came here, he was already strong. He was married, and he was, like I say, his weight was heavier. Before coming down here, before coming to the States, he had 3 consecutive championships at the same time. The heavyweight, I think it was a heavyweight, and 2 others. And he became very strong with his public. They loved him very much, and he wouldn't give up his championship, his belt, because of differences he had. He wanted he wanted a match where he would lose, but he never lost. So he never gave it up. And when he came over here, like I said, he was married and he had his kids. And he was the only wrestler, and he was admired for that, for bringing his children and his wife travel with him from state to state as he wrestled in the different cities here in the United States. He became later, he became a promoter. And he was the first one to bring wrestlers from Mexico into the States and vice versa. The first international known promoter to do that here in the States, whereas he opened the market for wrestlers from there and from here and introduced them. He also made wrestlers who became very famous down there later. And what can I say? He was great. He was my brother. We were left orphans we were all teenagers when my dad died. And he became our father figure. Not only as a father figure, but he was our advisor, our mentor. So young. He would accompany me to school, and we walked because we could not afford money for the bus. So he would walk me to school, and from the time we left the house until I got into the door, he would just advise me and advise me like an older man. And he was only 20 years old himself. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now I'll go to you. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Erlinda Guerrero. Well, first of all, I'm Erlinda Yañez de Guerrero. I was born in Mexico City, and I know wrestling until the age of 12 years. All my brothers, most of my brothers, they wrestle, and I know my husband in wrestling in one of the matches. I love him from the first time I saw him. I like him. I like him very much. He was a very, very popular man, very popular wrestler. I married with him, and we procreated 6 children. And my sister-in-law, Grace, she already described her life better than I. She says the great that was my husband was. The great was the man, the father and a husband, and a man, and a very good Christian man, especially. He introduced me to the Lord, the same to my children, and I'm very happy for that. But we're talking about wrestling. My husband, I know the business when I was 12 years old with my brothers, Henry, Sergio, and Mario Yañez Gonzalez. I am the only girl in the family of the 7 brothers and myself. And listen, I have so many family there still wrestle. My cousins, my nephews, and now my children. I have 6 children, 4 boys and 2 girls. My 4 boys, they wrestle. And I'm very, very proud to say that my husband introduced the first promoter in Spanish and English in both cities, United States and Mexico, in the border, Ciudad Juarez and El Paso, Texas. He was a very successful wrestler and very successful promoter, man. Now I'm going to talk about my children. I think they are good wrestlers, each one in his own style. Because they have my husband, a very good teacher, teaching them. Let me tell you, my husband teach every son a lot general. He never teach soldier. He teach 4 generals in wrestling. So the 4 children of mine, Chavo, Mando, and Hector, and now my son Eddie, who is in heaven with the Lord. And they are so good wrestlers. Of course, Eddie, he was a very young boy, and he took very experience of the family and the other three guys, and especially my husband. He dedicated his time more on my youngest boy, Eddie. Very proud of my children, all of it, and especially of my 4 boys and my 2 girls. And now I have a grandson, Chavito Guerrero. I call him Chavito. And I think he's one of the best in wrestling. And well, thanks to the Lord, because my life is very plain. I'm very happy with the business. I love wrestling, especially when I saw my children wrestle, especially now when I saw my grandchild, Chavito. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's good, very good so far. It's very interesting. Can you introduce yourself and tell us who in the family you are and what your experiences have been in the wrestling industry with your family?
Of course. I am the youngest sibling of the Guerrero family. My name is Hortensia Guerrero Salazar. I lived here in the United States of America most of my life. I was not fortunate enough to be with my siblings in both Mexico and the United States when our beloved brother, Salvador Gory Guerrero, at the age of 17, started his beautiful career in the profession of wrestling. But, of course, as a sibling, I did follow through with it. And we have a beautiful sister that has departed from us just about a month and a half ago, Gory Guerrero, who was the matron of the family during all these years when Sal Gory started his beautiful career and working and helping to support the family and get them going after the sudden death of our beloved father. He went on and started his career, starting in Guadalajara, as I have heard, and of course then from there going on to Mexico City, where he met his lovely wife Erlinda and all her siblings that were all that were all working in the same profession and making beautiful names for themselves. My brother Salvador has a beautiful history because in his career there were many, many things that he did in the wrestling profession. I'm not using the right terminology, and you'll have to pardon me for that, but there were many, as we say in Spanish, muchas llaves y muchas formas de lucha que él inventó. There were beautiful, beautiful ways in wrestling that to this day are accredited to him because they are still used in the ring to this day. They are used in the Olympics, they are used all over the world, and they were originated by our brother Salvador Gory Guerrero. He did a beautiful job. He worked in Mexico, throughout the country of Mexico, came on to the northern part of the continent of North America in the United States, where all his beautiful children that followed in his tradition also followed him along. He worked in the southern part of the United States. He fought in the Madison Square Gardens of New York City. He fought in the beautiful and most popular arenas of the United States, bringing many, many people. And another thing that is not very well known, and I'm seeing a lot of in television today, Sal, my brother Gory, was trying to interest women wrestlers into the profession. He brought them in, and he worked with them, and he trained them, and they worked with him. And so he may be one of the early pioneers of promoting women wrestling in the United States. And these are some of the little things that I, as the youngest sibling here in the United States, have learned about my beautiful brother, who is in heaven with all the angels and saints, watching us here right now, and having a lot of fun enjoying what we are telling about him here. And, well, I can't think of anything more beautiful to say about him, except that he has 4 beautiful sons that have also contributed an awful lot to the wrestling profession. And now, in addition to, he has a beautiful grandson, Chavito Guerrero. He's the 4th, and now he also has the 5th, Chavito Guerrero the 5th. So we've got something to beckon with in a few years. Perhaps we may have another Guerrero in the 5th generation to count for. And that is all I have to say about the Guerrero generation and tradition. Thank you.
That's good, right? I'm so glad. Good, beautiful.
Is there any questions you guys think I should ask you? Is there anything you could think that I should ask?
I was going to just add a little bit to what I said about my brother. We started in Guadalajara, and like my sister Grace said, we were very, very poor. And he was working at the time my dad passed away. And he worked very hard to support us. And then he started wrestling. And because he had been born in the United States, he was an American citizen, he could not get too fast into there, but right away with his wrestling, with his attitude, because he was a very strict person, very well educated for him. And he went up to the top. He started wrestling, and he was good. He had tremendous matches with El Cavernario, that they used to be bloody matches. I remember when Chavo, the junior, was born, we had to wash the towels, rinse the towels, because they were full of blood, and he didn't want his wife to see them because she was giving birth to Chavo. But they were bloody matches. But as he was in the ring, so tough and so mean, so aggressive, in his private life and with us, he was very loving and very caring. He was the greatest. He was a big brother, a father, and a great wrestler, a great professional. When I used to see Eddie in the ring, I thought I was looking at my brother. He had a lot of his movements, a lot of his tricks, a lot of his actions were my brother's, and I just enjoyed watching Eddie and Chavo and Hector and Mando. He formed them as sons and then as wrestlers. So to me, my brother Sal has been the greatest. Thank you.
I'd like to add something else. This is concern to me. I'm a very lucky woman. I am a very lucky woman because I am a sister of the wrestlers, champ of the world, my brother Henry, wife of the wrestler, champ of the world, Gory Guerrero, mother of the wrestlers, they are champs, Chavo, Eddie, Mando, Hector, and now grandma of one of the wrestlers and one of Chavito. See, so I'm very happy, and I'm very lucky woman. There's something to tell.
What do you see as the future of the Guerrero family? Do you see more and more wrestlers?
Oh yes, my grandson, my great-grandson is coming. He is Chavito, he's 6. Chavito Jr., Chavito has another boy.
Okay.
His name is Salvador too. Salvador the 5th. So he's coming. Like my sister-in-law Tencha says, there's the 5th generation of the Guerreros family. Yes, sir. That's the Guerreros wrestling family.
What of all the things in the wrestling industry that you've been through, like the wrestling business has a lot of problems in it. You know what I mean? Like, what's been like? Is there anything that was harder than anything else? I mean, obviously.
Well, wrestling business is like other business, like the movie business, like the, any performance business. There's nothing different. There's nothing different. But believe me, the Guerrero's family, they are very wrestle with the heart, clean and nice. And they gave us a very good wrestling matches, clean, very professionals, very. They start in the womb, in la panza, el vientre.
In the womb.
They start the wrestling in the womb. So they come in the blood. So that's why we have a very good performance always.
What was Eddie like as a child? Because I remember Mondo would tell me that Eddie would be in the front row at the wrestling shows, and like people would be tossing me around amongst them with beer and popcorn. What was it like with him as a child? Did you see him being a champion later in life?
Oh, well, not exactly, because he was a very skinny guy, no, very skinny guy. But when he grown up, I start to see when he worked out with my husband in the back of the yard, on the back of the yard of the warehouse. We used to have always a ring. We don't have swimming pools. We have a rings. So my husband used to work out with the children 2 or 3 times a week. The last, always we talking wrestling for supper, breakfast. Well, everywhere, even for a snack, we're talking wrestling 24 hours a day.
That's right.
All the family. So there's larger. The family is involved in a wrestling business because my husband is always in wrestling, and my children is still in wrestling. See, when they stick together, we're talking wrestling, wrestle, and we start to wrestle right now. We're in the party. We start to dance, and the both children, my grandchildren, start to wrestle with the grandpa or my son's. They wrestle. We eat. We sleep.
We wrestle.
And we wrestle. That's normal. And we love it. We love the business. We love the sport. We love all my children start to wrestle in the schools. Start to wrestle in the house, but in the school they are amateurs. So later, when they grown up, they start to professionals. But the wrestling is inside of the blood. It's inside, like my brothers too. It's inside of the blood. And I know wrestling woman, but I love it. I love see wrestling, any kind of wrestling. I love it. Professional and amateur and Olympic. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
But you asked me about my son Eddie. I saw him to start to wrestle in school, and I saw him, excuse me the word, if it's not correctly, with so many guts. I saw him with a spring hand or spring foot and finish his matches. And it's his guts. One time when he was also in one match with another school, they stopped the match, and the referee says, I hear the Eddie hurts. He was in the school. Everybody, my husband and I, we stayed to see him, to see the matches, because he was in a competition. He competed with another school. And he stopped the matches, and the doctor see that my son's foot, and he says, stop and you cannot wrestle. So my son says, no, I want to finish. I want to finish. They say, no, if you want to finish, you are running your body. They say, I don't care. I want to finish. So my husband says, Eddie, you want to wrestle? You want? Yes, Dad, I want to finish my match. All right. So my husband talked with the doctor, asked something to do it with my son's wrestling shoe. He put in something, benda, or I don't know what's happened. And I say to my husband, please, Al, don't let him to wrestle. Don't let him to wrestle. And he says, quiet, stay in your place, and let me take my son. He wants to finish this match, and he's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So he do it, and you know what? He wins. He went.
He was all right.
Yeah. So when I saw this in the school, I told my husband, oh my goodness, lady has guts. Tiene pantalones in Spanish, ¿no?
He's got pants.
I told my husband in Spanish, hey, Sal, el Lewis, I called him Lewis. El Lewis tiene talento, tiene pantalones.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, yes, he has one of the best of my sons. And we are so happy and excited because I have him when I was 40 years old and my husband 40 years old. So they was in a middle age. So we enjoyed this guy, this boy. And
your baby.
we see him, Russell was, imagine, he born when my husband has 48 and I'm 40. 16 years later, imagine my age. When we saw this in him. So I saw him very, very God to Russell and a very future champ of the world. And he was champion of the world. And I saw him, his match, when he took the bell in San Francisco. Oh my goodness, what a match.
Yeah.
What a match.
Yeah.
We was so exciting, but so hard. Because he was with a big guy. Remember him?
Yeah.
He was one strong and big guy. With my son, is very small guy, very frank, very chiquito.
He had a lot of
Pero
charisma.
he has a very good pantalones. He was a guerrero. Yeah, right. So I'm very, very happy to see my children, Russell. And now I know my son Eddie is in the best place.
Let me ask you this: if Eddie could, do you think, say one thing to all the fans, like what do you think he would say?
Viva la raza.
Right.
Viva la raza.
No, yeah. Viva la raza.
Can I
He
get
was
all
very
four?
proud of his heritage. He's being Mexican. He was very, of course, he born here in the United States. So he was an Mexican-American guy because his
He's
race.
proud of his heritage.
Yes, he's a very proud of his heritage.
Can I get you all to give me one quick Viva la raza?
Viva la raza!
One more time. 1, 2, 3.
Viva la raza!
All right, cool.
All right.
I would
No,
like
like,
to.
dice la teacher, she doesn't like
Okay,
it.
all right.
I don't know. No, I don't want to include it.
She's not Mexican.
No, because not in the context it's being used in this time right now. Where there's an awful lot of
Racial.
a lot of discrimination, a lot of